All right, so this is session 5 of 5 for Urban Shadows, set in Baltimore. And we have the full cast on hand today, all 5 members of the coterie, as Rich decided to call it. And we're going to go through. We're going to frame up where we're at. We're going to talk about things, and we're going to move to see what happens, because some stuff went down. So the quick thing to say is that this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. If you're watching this, you probably know that if you're coming in on the 5th session of this. But if you're like, hey, what's this thing? And you just watched it, you can find out more about this whole shebang at gauntlet-rpg.com. You can also subscribe to this channel if you end up digging this. If you don't have to subscribe. That's the beauty of YouTube. Anyway, so we're going to get started here. So I'm going to give the quick recap of last time, and then I'm going to ask if there's anything like crucial that was left off the table. A book was given over for translation to the immortal Mr. Leathers, Matthew Leathers. And we'll come back to exactly how he's able to translate that. And the group met with him about that. That was in the middle of a whole set of things where Camilla found out that in order to get all these ghosts out of her head, it's going to cost her $260,000. And so she was asking everybody for money and calling in favors and all of that kind of thing. And so they went to Leathers, and Leathers had some money for Camilla, and other deals were made. Things were talked about. And the group headed out to investigate the location where the Yakuza had been, where the building had been burned out. And when they got there, they found a strange area that repelled both Sato and Nikoru. And they went, and I believe that someone had a vision about what had happened there and saw that the dragon had come in the past, and that this woman, who would later be identified as Kagami, was able to erect some kind of protections to protect herself and some of the Yakuza during this fight. And that's what that sort of weird holy area was. It was at that point that Shiloh, the wizard who's been hunting for Hugo, popped up, along with some fae, and shit went down. And in the end, the fae backed off. Some of them were scared off, but the other group were backed off because of Nikoru's intervention. And Hugo killed a mage, but not before sustaining some injury himself. And the group then headed to go get healed up at a morgue, where there's a specialist who deals in sort of weird supernatural healings and things. But when they arrived there, they found that the Yakuza hunters were there, having apparently just done something there. And they had Kagami with them. And there was a brief standoff. And it was at that point that Nikoru realized that Kagami was not a vampire anymore, and was in fact breathing, and essentially had suggested that she had come here to Baltimore to clean up her mistakes, and lumped Nikoru in with that, though she expressed some regret and said that he was the last and she had put it off. Nikoru did not take that particularly well. And that's the big story. Did I leave any crucial details out? Is there anything that in my quick summary needs to be mentioned on the table? Anybody? All right. Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and roll forward into this session. What I want to do is, in this first part, maybe check in and see if anybody wants to have a little scene. I have a couple of things in mind if people don't. But I'm going to let you guys kind of drive the car because I don't know what you want to accomplish necessarily today, but we will see what gets to resolution and what doesn't. So if you definitely have something you want to see today, to get your head cannon out on the table or have something happen, say it, push it. Any questions about that? All right, we're going to start with Nikoru then.
Okay.
Nikoru, how are we immediately in the aftermath of that revelation, or what?
Well, I think Nikuru would not wait long before he tries to find a local Catholic church.
All right. Was he Catholic in his life, or is this just symbolic?
Symbolic. He
Okay.
was not Catholic in his life. He was, yeah. And his plan is to, if he is as evil as Kagami says, after all of the years he has spent waiting, then he must embody that she says she will destroy. His plan is to enter the church and eviscerate everyone he can get his hands on.
It's that early morning mass before the sun comes up. These are work people who come in before they go to do their shift. The faithful Hispanic worshipers and a few other old school from the ethnic neighborhood. So there's maybe a dozen people in here as you come in. And what is, before we have you mark corruption, which you're going to,
okay.
What do we see? Do we see, is the fade to black on you shutting the doors, and do we hear the noise, or what do we see on screen? How big is it?
How big is it? I think what his plan is to actually head to the confessional first. He will start there, and as the priest says, "Please confess your sins." That's when he'll reach through and grab the priest. So what we would see is just the aftermath of people lying in the aisles and some slumped against pews, and it's not pretty, and it is rather vicious, and it is very showy. There's some blood spatters on the Virgin Mary.
So yeah, you mark corruption. They're lying dead. I don't think they could do anything, right?
No, I don't think. He didn't see it coming, and there was none that he allowed to leave.
And then do we just see you exiting?
Yeah.
All right. We'll cut on that moment, Nikoru. You had to start a session move then, did you, Joe?
Was it?
You have a start a session move?
Oh, yeah, the foretellings. I think other people also do.
Yep, I'll start with you.
All right. Reroll selected. Oh, not good. 6 total, I believe.
And what does it say on a fail?
On a miss, you foresee the death of someone important to you and take -1 to all rolls to prevent it. Nice.
Whose death do you see? Which of the PCs?
I mean, it's gonna be Nikoru. He's the one that I tried to sort of bluff save last session.
Yeah, so you have that vision of it. You probably even have a flash with this. Your whole vision might actually be intercut with the church, and you might even get, you don't know what's happened, but you see the church. You don't know that it's Nikoru, but you know that something bad has gone on. Does that seem fair?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's just like God damn it.
Excellent. Who else has a start a session move? Anybody? Nikoru.
I have a web thingy.
Let's have you roll.
Yeah, at the start of a session,
no,
choose someone in your web to learn a secret about them they'd rather keep buried. I think I learned about Hugo last time, and Camilla might be fun, but then I haven't heard from Salome in so long. So Salome, it's you. Please tell me a secret you'd rather keep buried.
A secret I'd rather keep buried. God, I want something to keep. What am I doing?
If you want to, does anybody else have an opening session to give Darren a few moments?
I think that's the only other.
Oh, well, then I guess you're on the spot. Sorry.
That's all right. I was thinking that a secret.
If you want, I can do a Hugo scene while you think.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, you think on this. Hugo, you return back to your domicile, back to your sanctum. You're probably still a little bit hurt, right? And when you're back there, you will get a call. I forget, you have a rotary phone or a track phone, or what is it that you have?
Yeah, we'll say that it's rotary, so I don't even have caller ID. I have to pick up every call.
Okay. We know that you do have a cell phone because you have gotten texts before, so that's probably your backup. But this person calls your number, and you will answer, and you will hear, Hugo, Mr. Smith, right?
Who's asking?
This is Mr. Leathers.
Oh,
we met. We had a nice little chat there.
Right. It was very pleasurable, and I look at like the doggy bag.
So can I ask you just a little question here? What did you say this book was?
Well, I'm not sure exactly. Does it matter in order to translate?
Well, not precisely. It's just that you had said something about being some kind of bestiary.
That's what I was told, yeah.
Yeah, this is not a bestiary.
What is it?
I'd rather not say on the phone. If you at some point today or soon want to come by and chat with me, it's a little more, how do I put this? Say dramatic than that.
Okay. Well.
And when I say dramatic, I mean dangerous.
Do you mean valuable?
I suppose that depends on your perspective.
Well, I'll see you soon.
All right. You all be careful, okay?
Okay.
So let's come back to Salome.
This stupid book. I think that my secret is that I want to usurp the summer court and take it over for my own, my own pleasure, as one does.
I like it.
All right. Sato, let's check in with you. What are you doing in the aftermath of this?
I think the first thing I would do after the Kagami revelation is reach out to my patron and kind of check in on if that changes her orders for me.
And what is it precisely you, and that, or just generally, you tell your patron?
What was that? I'm sorry.
What is it that you sort of generally tell your patron? What is the story that you're giving them?
I think this part I don't have to really hold much back. I will tell them that I ran into Kagami investigating her appearance in Baltimore and discovered that she was breathing and that she professed to some kind of divine nature.
That is very, very bad.
Bad?
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean that her soul could be saved?
That's not what we're looking for.
Okay.
This means that the timetable has shifted. It means that my phone is ringing. Hold on one second. It means that we've missed a window. She needed to be dealt with before she could do what she's done.
Oh. So you thought that this might happen, or that this could happen?
Well, we had hoped that you would kill her before this happened.
Well, how does this change things? But
I will have to go and speak to my colleagues, but your mission stands. Kill her.
I have a little bit of trouble with that, considering she has some way to keep me away from her, some kind of divine barrier. Have you ever encountered anything like this? Do you know a way around it or through it?
Yes, I do. You have associates, right?
Yes.
Use them.
Okay. So it's going to be a long-range mission in this case.
I would also suggest that certainly your friends have talents. Whoever is lowest on the totem pole, as it were, throw them in at her. That should disrupt and perhaps break her concentration enough, I hope, for you to be able to act.
So distraction might help.
Might
Understood.
help. Depends on how long she's been this way.
So it's a kind of thing where her abilities could grow over time?
Yes.
That's troubling.
Yes. And we need her dealt with before she comes for. In any case, look to that. You have your orders.
I will.
All right. So with all of those sort of brief snippets and things in mind, do we want to pull people together, or do we want to continue to kind of do like a once around? Let me ask you, Rich, what you think.
I'm good with the once round, although I think Nikuru is probably going to be pulling people together. Is the thing that he'll be doing, is trying to.
Okay, so should I start with you last then?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that then. Then I'm gonna do a once around check in with people, and I'll go Hugo, Camilla, Sato, Salome, Rich, sort of in my order here. Just do a quick check in. We'll get a scene. If there's something you want to set up, want to connect with, we'll do that. Hugo, what about you? What are you up to?
I guess I'm going to check out the printouts of the book.
Okay.
I'm excited. It's not a bestiary though. I wasn't that psyched for that.
So you will go drive over, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll drive over again to his club, the Sugar Mill. And at this point, it's super early in the morning. Probably people are going to work. You'll hear sirens in the distance, like lots of sirens, like something has happened, and tons and tons of police cars are heading somewhere, some big incident. But you'll arrive, and one of the workers there will let you in, and you can go and speak to Mr. Leathers. And he will say, so, Mr. Smith, I am sorry to drag you out at this ungodly hour.
Oh, well, it sounds like it was at least important.
Well, it does. It is a little bit. I'm going to pause here for just a second. Joe, we can see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, well, I guess that's all I need.
Sorry. So this book, and I've only gotten a few pages out of my pet Faye, but it's enough to make me a little nervous.
What information could make you nervous?
Well, it is what you might call a battle manual or war manual.
Interesting. To combat what?
The Winter Court of the Fae.
Oh.
Yeah. So that is not what I had understood it was going to be.
Me either. Hey, I'm not trying to pull one over on you.
And I expect that you, like myself, are a victim of circumstance here.
Exactly. It's a good word for it.
Absolutely. So I got to tell you that this raises the stakes significantly for me.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna stop translating it, essentially?
No, I'm just saying that if you want it translated, that the cost is a little bit higher.
And I assume that I'm not paying for the translation. I'm paying for the discretion now?
That is absolutely what you're paying for.
I see. And how much is your discretion today?
Oh, I think my discretion is a couple of debts.
Well, we've come this far. Why stop now?
Absolutely. Might as well dig 2 graves, huh?
I wouldn't put it like that, but sure.
All right, then. I'll get working on that translation.
Can I have what you have so far?
How about I give you the first couple of pages?
Sounds good.
Okay. And he will pull those out. He clearly had them on hand, and he will hand them off to you. And it's yellow notebook paper with a kind of a tortured hand has copied these things over.
Right.
And it is definitely a guide for conducting war against the Winter Court Fae.
Mm. Yeah, there's one heading that's like how to fuck up the Fae. And I can tell it's tortured because it's written in like left hand and kind of not well, right?
It just you have enough. You're an antiquarian, and in some ways, and you've looked at a lot of books, and you just the pressure and the writing. There's a weird stressed on the points that bugs you, and yeah, you'll definitely get that air.
Cool.
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 Camilla, what are you up to in the wake of that vision and all the stuff that's gone down? Can you hear me, Joe? Apparently not. Okay, I'm going to give Joe a second to get his audio in line there. I see him unraveling lots of wires there, which always makes me a little bit nervous. Sato, Kagami is alive in more ways than one, and you've spoken to your patron. What's your next step?
Excuse me. I think I'm going to give Unjung-ri a call, since she's the only one I know of that has fought Kagami and might still be alive. And see if she answers.
Now, I forget if you have a debt with her or not.
Excuse me. I did have a debt with her. I don't know. We never talked about whether finding her eggs was gonna pay that off or not. But
right. Let's have you roll hit the streets, actually,
right.
I think, on this, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And she is, of course, wild. Which does seem a little odd to me.
My wild is 0, so that's a 7.
That is a 7. So you will call her, and you will get through, and she will say, "My time is tight, Mr. Sato. Again, I appreciate the information that you gave me on that, and you and Miss Salome. What is it I can do for you?"
I find myself in need to do battle with the person you, I believe, did battle with at the building, a divine being of some kind, and I was, to put it bluntly, looking for some pointers.
That was an unusual situation. It is not something that I have dealt with in some time. Certainly not what I expected.
Definitely not what we expected either. My
No,
information.
and I certainly do not hold you at any blame for what turned out there. But I have my own issues I'm dealing with now. There are one of my peers may be behind what has gone on here. And I believe that they may have one of the eggs.
I see.
So you can appreciate my how do I put this? My busyness.
Yes, definitely understand. Well, I appreciate your time. If there's any direction you could point me in that might assist me, I would be very appreciative, but I understand that you are.
I had heard that she was a vampire.
That's what we expected as well. I don't know how a vampire becomes something else. Never heard of such a thing.
Well, I would find some of those Yakuza and perhaps wring that information out of them.
That's an excellent idea. Thank you for your time. I wish you the best, by the way, on your hunt.
I appreciate that. I hope you don't get caught in the flames.
Goodbye.
And we will cut to Salome.
There's just so many routes to take. How do I do just one thing?
I know.
Um,
We'll cut to Rich's thing, and he'll be bringing people together after this. So
True. Oh man. Okay. Unfortunately, Hugo, every option available to me coalesces around screwing you over deeply. So I think the most interesting one. I don't know. Okay, I think I want to go and see my good ghost friends, because I know they have an egg, at least one egg, and I'd like to make a deal.
all right. Do you owe them a debt, or do they owe you a debt?
I think I owe them.
Okay.
It's going to be a lot of maneuvering.
All right. So you want to make a deal with them. So let's have you roll hit the streets.
Okay, I took Ghost Town, so I have +1 to hit the streets with ghosties.
Nice.
Right? Yes. Okay. It's faction. So what's my night faction at? There's so many modifiers. +1. Nice. This is going good so far. 2d6 +2. I got a 10.
Oh, look at you. So you will arrive, and are we in the usual spot where you run into him, to DaCosta?
Yeah, I guess so. Let's keep up the motif.
Okay.
Park motif.
Yeah. Back in the murder park. Again, sirens in the distance, and DaCosta will pop up, and he looks like things have maybe calmed down for him. And he's like, Salome, it has been a few days.
You know me and DaCosta. I just can't seem to keep my nose out of things, apparently. Your tip 4 was very helpful, but
Good, man. I am glad to hear that. I wanted to be of help.
well, I also know you skinned a little off the top. Which
I wasn't getting paid by you guys.
Yeah, I know. It's fair. I wouldn't
So
care.
I don't think you can skim if you weren't getting paid in the first place.
Okay, that's fine. You took your fair share.
See, that's a nice way to put it. That's what I appreciate
There you
there.
go. Oh, we're on the same page, DaCosta. I'm coming to do you a favor. I have a
Interesting.
warning for you. The dragon knows that you have the egg.
Well, I don't have the egg.
Well, who has the egg then?
I already handed it off.
What to who?
It takes a dragon to fight a dragon. I already handed it off to the other dragon.
There's 2 dragons?
Oh yeah, that's what this is about, is a war between them.
Costa. Well, I don't have anything else for this.
He says, hey, I'll tell you what. Our dragon, the one that we've been dealing with, he is looking for something. If you want to get in on the winning side, I can point you to that.
Let me guess. It's something to kill dragons.
That is in fact what it is. Your pal Hugo apparently has a weapon in his vault.
Hugo's got a lot of things in his vault.
Yeah. Be too bad if something happened to him and somebody had to take over for him.
It really would be. So what's your offer, DaCosta?
If you get that sword, I will gladly act as the intermediary to hand it off. Put your name in so that the new Lord of Baltimore knows who did him a solid.
I can just hand off the sword on my own. I have a phone. What do I need you for?
Because we're friends. And because I know where they're at, and I can put you in contact in a safe way.
Hmm.
And because you've got the stink of Unjung Ri on you.
That nose of yours, DaCosta, someday it's going to get you, well...
More killed?
Permanently killed. All right, I'll be in touch.
Absolutely.
I'll work on it.
All right. So, Rich, let's come to you. And you, this is what do you want to see? What do you want to have happen?
Trying to think if I can remember any. Maybe we'll just meet at the Sanctum Sanctorum of Hugo's, because that's kind of the font of a lot of problems anyway. So that's a good place. I think using textual messages, Nikuru will send out to everyone, asking them to meet there because we have an important matter to discuss. And if there's any resistance, then he will remind them of debts owed.
Is anybody pushing back on that?
I think I owe a lot, right?
You owe us so much.
Yeah, it feels like I will go along.
I didn't hear anybody else saying they're pushing back.
Yeah, no, I totally want to meet up with him. Shot in his face.
So we'll cut to that. They Hugo, you open the doors of your sanctum to allow the party to arrive, the coterie to arrive there.
Yeah.
What is the gathering space that you would have? I mean, you've got 5 people here that kind of need some space. What does that look like in your imagining?
I imagine I close down the store, and then in the sanctum, I maybe I cast some bullshit magic or something that clears everything to the sides of the room, and then a table appears, like a lengthwise thing, and it becomes a sort of conference room, except that the table is aged wood. It has it's not like IKEA or anything like that.
Okay, so old has marks on it, like this is clearly an old table that you've had stored somewhere that comes into position.
I break out the 50-year-old tea. And...
The smell of that brewing in here kind of covers over the museum dust that usually is the atmosphere. So I'm gonna say, Nikoru, let's say that you start with the floor.
Thank you all for gathering. As you know, there was a great surprise that was handed to me most recently at the hospital. Salome, to make sure that you are on the same page, Kagami, my sire, has in some way been changed, and she believes that it is her duty to destroy creatures such as I and what she once was. I strongly believe, Sato, that you would be a likely target as well. And being unnatural, Salome, I think you are also eventually a potential target. Hugo, you owe me.
Yeah, I think I was shrinking back, waiting to not be called on, and then I'm just oh yes,
And this will help to clear some of the debts. And Camilla, I simply ask you, because of your expertise and our friendship that we've established over this short period.
Yeah, we had a pretty good. What the fuck did you do to that church? You know I see things, right?
I lost my temper.
You think?
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna come back to bite you in the ass real bad.
Do you mean an angel might come after me? Is that what you mean?
I mean,
Do you mean a dragon might be pissed off at me because of my friends? Is that what you mean?
you're gonna die.
No. Perhaps a phone from heaven will ring. A very popular individual indeed.
All these follows.
It's just a possible angel. I'm sure the destroying one cannot be that difficult.
I don't know about that. I just know you created a huge mess.
They're all going to heaven, don't worry.
That doesn't matter as much with the people that I deal with on a regular basis.
I understand. Suffice to say, there is no reason for me to remain in Baltimore. Once this is completed, it is likely that I will go. I will not cause you any trouble. I just need to make sure that this door is closed.
What's the plan?
Cashing in a debt on me.
Yes, I am.
All right.
I'll mark it off.
You get to mark my faction. Right?
Yeah.
You do.
I'd say it's probably mortality that makes sense in this regards, since you killed a bunch of mortals.
Sure. I thought it was the debt with the faction that's trading the debt with you, but I don't.
Well, because I'm two separate factions.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I
so
see.
like whenever you deal with my faction, I tell you which one's more appropriate.
That's pretty neat.
It is a cool ability.
Yeah, and I will honor your debt and mark off night. Get that a sweet advance.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
You now only owe me 3 debts.
I know, only 3.
It's just 3.
So Hugo, what's your reaction to all this?
I was thinking that maybe one of the to keep up with this lazy wizard thing going on, maybe one of the things that I actually need for some of the stuff that I'm working is like angel blood or something. So I'm on board. Like on board because I owe, but also on board because I have ulterior motives.
Absolutely. That is a valuable component for the kind of work that you do.
Right. So maybe people are suspicious because I acquiesce a little fast without, bitching and moaning like normal.
Yeah. Hugo is down for it.
Nice. Here we go. I think I'll just because I've got so many in this last session, I'm trading in a debt anyway, so you could just take that.
That means you get to mark night and
Yeah, do it. You can advance and get Angel Killer Move or something. There's got to be one of those out there, right? Somewhere on the internet, maybe BJ Zanzibar's World of Darkness.
And I think you get to mark power then, Rich.
Oh, yay.
And you would have marked mortality before, so you should have those 2 marked.
I'm going to advance up, guys. So good.
Super Saiyan. Salome, Sato, what's your response to this proposal that has been put forward?
Sato's all in. He's maybe. I think he's completely interested in sharing any information he has, which is not very much. But he was going to track down Nikaru and find out if he wanted to join him against Kagami anyway, given last session's circumstances. So
Absolutely. So you're already signed up for this ride, which brings us to Salome.
Probably through most of this, I've just been staring at Hugo. But to answer the first question, Mikuru, as you well know, there are a lot of things moving right now. And as much as I would love to help you, my attention's pretty divided as it is.
I understand. I know that it's got to be difficult to try to usurp the summer court to your power. Let me sweeten the deal for you. As you know, Ginny Luck, I have a debt on her. I will transfer it to you in exchange for this.
What's the time commitment here?
Oh, it will be soon. We will either all be destroyed or victorious in a matter of hours, I'm sure.
That's Mikuru, it's not really sounding great. I think I need to take care of some stuff first, but I would love to come and help soon.
I think I'll go ahead and call in the debt that you owe me then.
Yeah, I'm gonna refuse it.
Okay.
Nice. Exciting.
So he's going to refuse to owe you a debt. So you roll with heart.
I got an 11. These good rolls are coming out now.
Yeah.
Looking bad for me later.
Yeah. So you can push it down now. You still owe the debt. But you will sidle out of it.
Ooh.
If only I had been too busy to save you from that burning building. We might not even be having this conversation. But I understand, Salome. I hope that you fare well.
Absolutely. Hey, Salome, you want to mark corruption for me?
Yes, I would love to.
The fairy just broke a promise.
Oh yeah. I'm so bad about my corruption move. That's fine.
Yeah, we had Hugo hit that corruption top off last time. So
One away from another.
yes. So let's do this. Let's take the Scooby Gang and let's figure out what they're doing, any prep wise, or how you're doing the operation. Get that kind of set, and let's check in with Salome, and then let's kind of move to resolve. Does that seem like a fair way to handle that?
Yeah. So does that when we leave, is Salome gonna steal my sword?
That wasn't my plan. I presume you have it like kept better than just like out laying
It's just
around.
under a floorboard.
Just kick Salome out.
He's definitely got the vault. I mean, that's why people hand him things, is to keep those things safe. All right. So Nikoru and company, the decision has been made to go after Kagami. What prep or how are you, I mean, do we need to do prep, or are we just going to try and hit the streets, or what's the approach here, Nikoru?
I'm hitting the streets. We got to find out where she is.
I have a tracking spell.
I'm going to tell Hugo I need his help.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Oh, but I have to have a personal object that belongs to the target or recent leavings of their body.
Me. I belong to her.
Oh.
I was gonna make that joke too.
Great mind.
And we also had that battle, so maybe, you know, we knocked a fingernail loose or something.
Interesting. I like that.
I found an angelic fingernail.
Also, that pile of blood might help.
Yeah, you definitely have that. So I think the way I'm going to do this, and I think you definitely have the tools to use tracking to do this. Let's say I think see there's some challenge to it. So I am going to have you roll investigate a place of power. Does that seem fair? As a way to kind of mechanically do that with this?
Sure.
And that would be with wild.
Wild.
Or I'm sorry. No, with power actually.
Yeah, which means I get to mark it, right?
Yep.
Which means I advance. Okay, so roll plus faction power is 2. I'll be the little blue dice down here. But it's not working. Maybe I'll reload. It's
Okay.
weird. Okay. I'll just roll some new ones.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so 9.
That is a 9. So you use your tracking. What does your tracking look like? What does the spell look like? You know, and you can use Nikoru. I mean, and how? What do you use of Nikoru's?
Let's see. Well, I like that. Maybe it's like a different kind of tracking spell than I usually do, and it makes Nikoru sort of see the typical game shadow path appear in their eyes to be able to trace it, instead of like, I don't know, my usual Fable thing where I can see feet and follow them. Instead, it's like using Nikoru as a proxy so that they can lead us instead.
And so you will follow this through the city, essentially somebody driving with you, kind of leading them as to where they need to go. And eventually you will arrive at what appears to be a local small-scale amateur sports complex. Looks like a high school gym, or maybe an amateur gym for basketball. It's not a great part of town. You know, it's concrete outside, a brick building, parking lot with some people there. And what time of the day is it at this point? I'm going to ask that of Nikoru, since you were kind of driving the situation.
I think it's early morning.
Okay.
Right? I think it's like light of day just starting to shine.
Okay. We're just at dawn, and you're at this like high school / Y style basketball place. And the trail leads there.
Can I, with my advance, it says take a move from another archetype.
Sure.
I think a fun one in this one would be best laid plans, and then we can plan to kill her, and then that can get some hold, and then we can maybe not all die.
That seems good. Why don't you go ahead and make that roll for me?
Okay, I'm rolling plus mind, which is +1. I'm pretty good with the mind.
Pretty good. Could still screw it up.
Okay, great. 7. Haha.
And what do you get on a 7 on that move?
Hold 2, and I can spend it to, regardless of distance, while the plan is being carried out, I can add +1 to someone's roll, dismiss all harm someone suffers from a single attack,
Ooh.
ensure your people have the exact gear that they need on hand. So that's pretty good.
So you're kind of planning out. Let me check in with the other 3 of this set here. Camilla, how are you? They're kind of getting ready clearly to do some kind of op. What is Camilla's?
Yeah, like got any weapons that I could use other than my horde of ghosts? Like, what do you want me to do?
You could be the bait.
I think this is a good time to bring up.
I don't think Kagami cares about me, which is pretty nice.
True. The Nikoru and I have a bit of a problem that you may remember from the last time when we fought Shiloh. My patron advised that the only way to bring down that barrier would be to sufficiently distract or harm, break the concentration of Kagami. Otherwise, Nikoru and I will have a hard time joining this fight.
All right, well, yay. This is so worth more than $20,000.
Maybe Kagami will have some money.
All right, so yep. I guess I'm getting ready to be the distraction.
Okay. And Sato, any that you're doing? Are you wolfing out, as it were? Or are you waiting on that?
I think I'll wait, yeah.
Okay. And Nikoru, you're ready to go in hell for leather?
Yes, that's an appropriate phrase.
All right. So I'm going to put a pin in the 4 of you.
I'm sending, the last thing I do is I send a quick little text to Salome. Wish you were here. It's your fault if we die.
Oh, no.
I really would give Salome
just clears the notification, doesn't open it.
Wipe left.
I'm going to text you a vision.
Salome, those 4 go off to fight this powerful figure. And you break your promise and you abandon them. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to go see my dear employer, Unjungri.
And again, we already rolled for that, so I don't think you need to. And you marked wild for that, right? Because you hit the streets and worked with her.
Oh, before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So you will arrive at the hotel. Again, you're already kind of an honored guest here. So they will let you on in. And you will go up and into the hotel room, the suite that she has. Probably a couple of minions leading up there. And when you go into the hotel room, like, it is hot in here. Like, it is sweltering hot. And it's not like the summer court, like, this is the feeling of summer and warmth and goodness. This is the furnace hot of things. Like, everything that's metal in here is hot to the touch. And you see her, and she is concentrating on something, but she will stop when she sees you, and she will say, "What do you have for me, Salome? Why have you come here for this?" I said I was in the midst of things, and yet you still are here.
Sorry for the interruption. But I have some little bits of information that you, I think, will be very interested in.
Tell me.
Well, what if we made a deal?
I thought we already had a deal that you were my employee.
Hmm. Well, I need a raise.
Speak.
I know where your last egg is. And more than that, I know where a weapon is.
What weapon?
I'm not quite sure, but someone is looking for it, and I don't think they like you.
Have you heard anything else about this weapon?
No.
Well, I certainly know that is the case. So you're not bringing me anything new there. What was the first part of your thing before this whole weapon?
Distraction. Well, perhaps I could get a promise from you before we delve too far into that.
I'm always nervous when a Fae asks for a promise, so what is it?
I just need, let's call it your vote, when I move in on the summer court soon.
If you retrieve my egg, you will have my full support.
Yeah, okay. I don't think I can push any more than that. So yeah, Salome will agree. That's a start, Miss Ree.
Absolutely. So, do you want to tell me your information?
I guess I don't really know that much.
I hope you don't say that.
No, I don't. As I'm sure you know, Miss Ree, there's another dragon in town. And apparently, when we found out that the Yakuza had your clutch originally, some of the ghosts took it upon themselves to make their own little deal.
Go on.
So this rival of yours has your egg,
He already has it.
apparently.
Well, I will leave you to look right now. I will pursue my own avenues. And then I will burn every graveyard, every spirit, every ghost in this city to a fine ash. They will return to the netherworld from which they came.
You probably need a break. Probably good to go to rest.
Yes. And she will say, you can go.
I'll go. Yeah, I mean, maybe guess I'll go back to that vault.
Okay.
I need some leverage.
So you head back to Hugo's. Let's cut to the four of you, dawn breaking, early morning Baltimore. Buses are just starting to run. It's weekday here. The four of you have pulled up outside of this Y basketball place. What do you want to do? I'm going to leave this as an open question because I have no idea who has a sense of how they want to attack, how they want to approach, how they want to investigate.
I was thinking it would be cool if part of the best laid plans is that we have the exact gear that we need. Like I just had it in my vault, so I have X angel killing gear stuff.
Angel killing you. That seems very specialized. I think that's more of a sanctum creation thing is to create an angel slaying blade. But I tell you what, we'll consider that you've got something that will assist with that, and that will ignore one of their armor. How does that sound?
Sure.
Okay, so you're kind of pulling that out. Like, do you have like an unguent or a powder or something that you can put on weapons? How do you make these things angel slayers?
Maybe it's extract from like a demon, so then it becomes demonic and their weakness.
Okay, so it sort of smells like Sato. Good. All right.
Yeah. A bad kind of demon, Sato.
Okay. So we know that Hugo is doing that preparations. What about the rest of you? Nikoru? Just going in?
Let me look. What move options do we have here?
Investigate a place of power is the sort of get the lay of the land before you go in.
That seems wise. So I'm going to try that.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll with wild?
I was going to say, is this wild? All right. My wild is +2. So let's see.
Oh.
I've rolled a 4. +2 is 6.
Now, Frazier, do you want to spend your other best laid plans hold to assist him?
Can I just help instead?
Sure. How would you lend a hand here?
Maybe I'm also doing a perimeter sweep or something like that, looking for entrances and exits and marking
That
the
seems
bad
perfect.
guys on my HUD.
Yeah. Why don't you roll with night?
Cool.
What's your night?
Night. -1.
Ooh, -1.
Oh no, that's a fail.
All right. I need a minute to think about this. For the fail that is going to hit you two. So we're going to take our 5-minute break right now while I consider the implications. Joe, we had a great wrap to the 11 Sessions Worldwide Wrestling on Wednesday.
I'm so jealous. That it's so hard to get into those games.
Yeah. They took down the evil manager and had a long beat up sequence at the end. It was good.
Yeah, I'm trying to start my own game, but like I'm hesitant to do it on Gauntlet, mostly because when I run, I don't like to use video chat.
You don't have to. I mean,
oh, I thought that was like a requirement for Gauntlet.
well, you can say that they don't have. You're going to do it without camera. I mean, you just tell people that.
Did not know.
Yeah, as long as you tell people and say, "Hey, we're going to do this." If they want to sign up for that, then knowing that that's what's going to happen, then that should be fine.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah,
got fine.
There are a lot of people who really want to play Worldwide Wrestling.
Yeah. Whereas I'm having trouble just getting like 4 players. But that's because like some players I know, some I don't know. So.
Well, we had somebody who'd been there almost the whole time drop an hour before the show. And
so sad.
Luckily, I was able to get the waitlist guy up and had to rebook it, and so it was crazy.
Yeah, the wait list on that is always big.
Yeah.
I was like, I signed up too late.
All right. So there is a saying in some of the RPG books about GMing and hard moves in PbtA. And one of the things they say is be obvious. So I'm going to be obvious here. So you two are moving around, looking, and you're together, maybe trying to cover each other a little bit, but it's day, it's noisy. You're trying to act casual, and there is that moment when you kind of come around and your line of sight is blocked for a second, and then when you come out, your feet crunching on the gravel, you will see a Yakuza who's standing there, and the second he sees you, he brings up the SMG, and it's got a silencer on it, but it's still loud as that happens, and he sprays both of you with bullets, and you are both going to take 2 harm. And kind of knocks you back.
Is it loud enough for Joe and Sato to hear? Or Joe?
Absolutely. Camilla and Sato can clearly hear this, telling you that anyone in the building can clearly hear this. I don't think you had a chance to, did you, Frazier? Because we didn't.
Went to that hospital lady, right?
But you left or did you guys get healed at that place? I forgot.
Yeah, we convinced Kagami to leave so we could get healed.
Okay, yeah. So you would have. So let me check. So if you had Grievous, you would have been able to erase a box. If you just had standard injuries, you could have erased that completely.
I had 1 faint and 1 Grievous.
Okay, so you can erase the Grievous, but you'll still have the faint right now.
Okay.
So, Sato,
oh, shit.
As your scouts go out.
Yes, I think it's
my plan.
I think it's time to demon out.
All right.
So let me roll that.
Step out of the car.
Yeah.
Just trying to get this intimacy move off.
9.
9. That's okay.
So that gives me choose 1. If you're working a job for your patron, choose 1 more, and then I'm going to mark corruption to choose a 3rd.
You're going full demon.
Yeah, I've got to. So I'm going to pick demonic movement so I can fly. the weapon so I can have my ancestral katana,
Okay.
and then gain 1 armor.
Ooh, armor. I wonder why you want that. Anyway, so what does Camilla see?
Um,
Well, I'm going
oh,
to
you're
have
asking
him
me.
describe what, and then I'm going to check what Camilla does after she sees him demon out.
So he almost like pushes the car door off its hinges and bursts out. And as he's doing this, you know, he's changing. His skin turns red, and he gets about 7 feet tall, and very like Japanese ogre looking, but he's almost made of mist, like he's kind of going in and out of corporeality
Mhm.
as he does this, and his eyes are flaming, and this like giant 2-handed daikatana appears in his hands, and it's got like runes all over, Japanese script all over it, and he just kind of like jumps up in the air and starts floating. He doesn't have wings or anything, but he can just fly because of his because he's misty, and it goes straight for the sound of the gunshot.
Okay. Camilla, what are you doing?
I'm sighing, annoyed, frustrated, kind of scared. The one person left with me just fucked off, so I'm like, I guess I'll go after.
Okay.
I can do some things, but
So you're going to run towards the sound of gunfire?
yeah, against better judgment.
Okay. So you two will both move over to get to where this is going on, kind of running around the building, kind of out in the open, and flying. So let's cut back to Nikoru. What do you do?
It hurts, but I pretend that it doesn't, and then I'm going to probably, I guess, kill them.
Okay, let's have you unleash an attack.
Okay, I'll do that.
Because it's probably a couple more of these Yakuza kind of coming up behind. So you know
they probably have like Kevlar and all these other things to protect them.
It's just a mob.
Just a mob of awesome dudes. Okay, cool. I'm rolling with blood, which is a +2 for me.
Okay.
So here comes number 4. Oh no, it's a 5. So I did get a 7.
Okay, so you get a 7. So you will inflict harm. What's your standard harm? Do you have any bonuses or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, the vamp isn't actually built to do much other than like trading secrets and look sexy. It's kind of it's like the Fae in Monster Hearts, kind of a waste, but I wanted to play it anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like nothing.
Okay. So it's 1 harm, which means you rush up, and what do you want to inflict?
I have a choice.
More harm? Yeah.
Yes, I would like to inflict. No, I would like to take that weapon from them because
okay,
it was a gun.
You will essentially. What do we see? How do you kill this first guy with submachine gun?
Oh, I think he does the vampire. He has and pops his fangs, and that might be enough to cause him to flinch. And he moves quickly, and he's on him, grabbing the submachine gun from him as he bites the side of his cheek.
Yeah,
really.
So yeah, you tear that, and you drop this first guy of this mob, and grab the submachine gun out of his hands.
Yep, I like that.
Fraser, there's still a couple guys coming out of this door. What do you want to do?
I think they want to get electrified.
All right. So you're going to unleash an attack?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see. And I have...
we should probably roll your channels, shouldn't we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Channel. Spirit.
Oh, I actually have a choice to make with the 7 to 9.
Mm-hmm.
They inflict harm on you, or you find yourself in a bad spot. With
Okay.
where I'm at, I'd rather find myself in a bad spot.
Okay. Then I think you can see that there are some other people coming around, like that maybe we're on patrol around the other corner of the building that are kind of coming up behind. So what'd you get for channels?
I got a 10, so I get
Look at that.
free hold and no bad things.
That's just amazing. Spend that hold and go ahead and roll.
Okay, and
Attack.
I have a bad thing about this, right? Or like a good bad thing. I have the
If you're doing elementalism, you can do 2 harm close area, 3 harm.
yeah, and I roll with spirit instead of blood because I have the dark arts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That will certainly save you.
And I got a lot. I got 14.
14. So you will let loose, and the next 2 that kind of popped out of the door. I mean, the electricity, is it just like blue crackles, or what is it?
Yeah, I think it's like a blue sort of like chain lightning thing where it hits the first guy and then it bounces.
And yeah, you will drop these 2. These next 2, they're coming out the door. They hit. There's the lightning arcs across the metal doors, and they will drop to the ground. Sort of smoke rising up from their buttons and the guns in their hands, and they just drop to the ground there. Sato, as you fly up, you razzle dazzle. You will see that Nikoru has gotten the gun. There's this door open to the interior. You see your mage fry a couple people, but there's a couple of Yakuza that were out on patrol that were kind of coming around the corner to see what's happening. What do you want to do?
I think I'm floating maybe like 2 stories off the ground at this point, and I
Okay.
just want to dive at them.
Sure.
Exactly.
Let's have you unleash an attack.
Alrighty, let's roll with blood. Correct.
Yeah.
Ooh, a 3.
So you go diving at them. Go diving, come down at them, and one of them sees you coming, and he pulls out like a different pistol, and he will fire it in your face as you're coming down, and you're going to take 2 harm. You've got armor though, but you drop to the ground, like you hit and roll, like whatever he did knocked you out of the air.
Gotcha.
And it looks like they're going to try and since you're the closest thing, maybe put some bullets in you on the ground. Camilla,
Yes.
what do you want to do?
So yeah, like I'm coming up, and there's all these people with guns.
Yeah.
So
Loud noise. It's 8 o'clock in the morning in a Baltimore street.
all right. So options are, well, all right. So like I'm just like gonna close my eyes, say a prayer, commune with all my ghosts as like, all right, we gotta turn this tide in our favor, as like, just scream and explode out and try to like send the ghost to like possess the Yakuza or something, or just
Okay.
like try to blast them all with my mind type thing.
Sure. I think a let it out could certainly take care of those guards that are working at Sato.
I always want to let it out. Get that sweet, sweet corruption.
Yeah.
Ooh, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I didn't do it. Oh well, but I still mark corruption, right?
Yes, you do.
Excellent. That's no. When I hit, I mark corruption.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I have a. I don't know. Does this count having the -1 ongoing anyway?
Yeah, actually, because you are trying to assist Nikoru in this
From
as well.
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no matter what, miss.
Uh,
Curse.
so-
Curse you, orange dice.
you will do that, kind of let it go and let it out. And when you open yourself up, you will feel one of those spirits, rather than kind of pushing out, pushes down into you.
Uh-oh.
And you feel it pushing on your mind, and you kind of come to a stop, and you're kind of staggering as this thing possesses you. And it's like it's going to try and run you away from here so it can go and enjoy the pleasures of the flesh. So let me just check in. Salome, should I check in with you now, or should I keep with this particular sequence? What would you like?
Yeah, we could check in now, I think.
So where do when camera cuts back to you, where are you at?
At Hugo's store.
Okay.
I have to do a robbery.
All right. Now, Fraser, remind me, you have traps and wards, right?
Yeah. So I have magical booby traps, a portal to another world, a library of old tomes, a scattering of ancient relics.
Okay. So tell me, Salome, how do you want to break in here?
I was thinking I would use some Fey powers and just freeze everything. It's not too inventive.
All right. So let's see here. Well, I think the appropriate thing is keep your cool.
Okay.
No pun intended. Now, I am going to say, because Fraser has those booby traps, you are going to take some damage. It's a question of how much damage you're going to take. Does that seem fair?
Yeah. Spirits plus 1. Let's see if my luck runs out. 7.
So you will come in, and Fraser, tell me the booby trap that catches Salome.
Maybe there's one on this, like a ward on the ceiling that is like wherever I've hung the chandelier or something, I've put a ward there first and then drilled it up there so no one could ever see it. And it's sort of like, I don't know, blows up, right?
Yeah, you're moving through. You've got the ice. You frosted the place, and the magics are kind of held by that, Salome, and they go up to the ceiling. And as you are moving in towards that vault, that chandelier explodes, and you take 3 harm.
Oof. That's a lot of harm.
Unless you would like to take a scar.
Oh, yeah, I'll take a scar.
Okay. Which stat are you going to take a permanent -1 to?
Oh, I like disfigured. Reduce my heart by 1.
Okay. And what does that look like? How is it? What do we see on screen after that explosion? You once beautiful boy, girl, ambiguous.
Yeah, whatever Salome is. I think that the chandelier shatters, and I think it's maybe like Salome maybe just gets stabbed with a bunch of like icicles sort of thing. So the disfigurement is like when that heals, there's just like, instead of even scarring, it's like that permafrost again. So it's like more severe. It looks like frostbitten scar tissue.
Nice. So you are outside the vault. We'll come back to you and your bloodied form in a second. Nikoru, doors open. A couple of Yakuza are working on Sato, but you could just go. You want to deal with the problem, right? You want to go inside and ignore Sato.
Sato's really powerful. I don't think he'd be offended at all.
Absolutely.
Right? I'll check in with him later about this thing that I'm doing now. Yeah, I'm going in. Like,
Okay.
we need to do this thing.
You will rush inside. Of course, there's kind of chaos in there. You kind of run in the side door into the basketball arena. They got that kind of floor. See the hoops. They've got the bleachers, like the school bleachers. Some of them are open, some of them are closed. They probably got like one of those AV stages at one end, like a school gym kind of thing. And you see they've got some tables and including some Yakuza like putting some equipment together and kind of now rushing. And you will see Kagami, and you will see another guy speaking with her who doesn't look like a Yakuza, who looks like, I mean, he's clearly Asian, but he looks Chinese rather than Japanese. And he's kind of turned and he's looking at you sort of oddly, like, what is this? What do you want to do?
I think I'm going to shoot him because he's a friend of Kagami.
All right.
Yeah.
Why don't you roll Unleash an Attack?
That sounds awesome. Did you imagine, like, is there a way I could figure someone out first? Just
Yeah, you could, if you want to stop and figure it out before you let
yeah,
loose.
I do.
Then let's have you roll with mind.
I'm gonna fail, but here it comes. I have a 0 in mind. That's a 4. That was a great choice, Rich. Good job.
So you go to do that, and you kind of raise that gun up, like you and check him out, and he's over by you. Like he was standing over there, and now he's over by you, and he reaches out and he just crushes the submachine gun in your hand. And he's, because you pointed it at him, so he just crushes that, and he's like, no. So we'll come back to you. Does that seem like a fair hard move?
Yes.
Okay. Let's come back to Hugo.
So there's this like giant person attacking.
No. Nikoru's run inside.
Yeah.
There are 2 Yakuza about to kill Sato.
Oh man. Okay,
Camilla's dancing around like a puppet. What do you want to do?
Dancing around like a puppet. That's
More like a marionette, but go on.
Yeah, it's just a funny image. Yeah, I guess I'll save Sato's life.
Okay. So how are you going to do that?
Let's see.
Do you want to again let loose with this electricity? Again, kill some more people?
Instead, let's switch it up and make it like a fireball or something.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to seem like a one-trick pony.
Absolutely. Why don't you unleash that attack?
Okay, so that's another 10. But do I have a -1 ongoing with?
No, because you aren't the one who's subject to the -1.
Gotcha. Okay, so then it's a 10.
Camilla's attempts are stymied. So I think if you just say you want to inflict terrible harm, you can blast both of these Yakuza back before they can even do anything to Sato.
Sounds good.
They go flying back, hit into garbage cans, screaming, rolling around in pain, flames licking across them. Is your flame red, orange? Is this some special color?
Yeah, I think at first it seems like it's normal fire, but then as they try to pat it out and stuff, it won't go out because it's magical fire. Snap.
Okay. Yeah. So the bale fire hits them and they will roll around. Sato, you just got your ass saved by Hugo.
Totally like turn around and yell at Hugo, "How dare you!" And then after a second, I regain composure and be like, and start, moving towards the building. Sorry, Hugo. Thank you.
So you can run inside, hit that. You'll come in and you'll see just ahead of you. You will see the Yakuza getting their gear together. You'll see Kagami across the way, and you'll see this little, Chinese man in a suit with the remains of Nikoru's submachine gun in his hand, and he's just kind of standing there in front of Nikoru, like sort of slightly bothered and bewildered about who this is. What do you want to do?
I think I'm gonna have to put a face to a name since this is unexpected.
Absolutely. Why don't you roll with Wild?
Let's see here. That is a 6.
That is a 6, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So you will realize that this is the other dragon. And you hadn't dealt with him as a dragon before. But he's someone who helped you out some time back. Mr. Zahn assisted you, and you owe him a debt.
So I do recognize him then.
Yeah. You're like, oh boy. So I want to cut from you back to Camilla.
Yo, I'm a ghost.
Okay, so this ghost is how does Camilla? How would you get out of this situation? The ghost controlling your body?
I don't know. I've never had to deal with this before. So what's like the ghost wants to go off, just fuck off and enjoy the pleasures of the flesh.
Yeah.
Do I have any inclination of the ghost plan?
Yes, you saw a kitty corner to this place is an IHOP, and it is going to run over there, and it is going to drink syrup and eat pancakes and anything else it can get a hold of.
Oh, this is hilarious. I guess I gotta try to escape.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to do this.
Taking advantage of the opening to it's like
yeah.
Getting a sugar high.
Yeah. Why don't you roll blood? You're not going to take the -1 because this is you saving your own butt.
Yeah. What is my blood? It's not good, I bet. It's a 0. Okay. I guess I got a question. I don't know if this works. Sure. When you interfere with someone's plans or actions, no, it's not a vision. Never mind.
Okay.
All right, I got 10.
All right. So you choose one from the escape a situation list.
I'm gonna owe this ghost a debt.
Okay. You kind of, as it's pouring some of this syrup in his mouth, you're like, just what do you say to it?
It's like, look, we have time for this later. I've got to do shit. Give me back control, you asshole.
The ghost goes, promise me you will let me have time.
Yeah, I will get you so much pleasurable flesh.
Okay.
Just if I don't die.
Okay. And it will relinquish control to you. Okay.
Ghost.
And the waitresses here are just kind of staring at you, sort of dumbfounded.
Yeah, I just dine and dash, basically.
Yeah. Run out back across the street. All right.
Yeah. Back into the fire.
Absolutely. Salome, I'm going to do one more sequence with them, and then we're going to come back to you if that's okay. Rich, Nikoru.
Yes.
This man says, that was not polite to point that at me. You don't even know me.
I'm after her.
I have to finish business with her.
She won't be able to complete what you want because I'm going to destroy her. So you should consider it done now.
Let's have you persuade an NPC.
Okay, cool.
You get a pretty good heart, right?
Oh, the stat. Sorry. Yeah, it's a +2 heart. There's a move I've got that I don't think I've ever
Ooh.
used, but let me see if it works. I don't think it does. Let's see. No, someone in your web.
Oh no, you can do irresistible.
Yeah. There we go. I promise whatever she is bringing to you, we will work out together.
Let's have you roll.
And yeah, okay, yeah, I do like that move because I started like leaning into it and I'm like, wait, what do I get out of it? I did buy it for a good reason. Okay, how about I actually roll the dice? Pitiful 6, but a +2 from heart gives me an 8. And because I've used promises or seduction, which he would totally sleep with this dude, but he didn't think it was appropriate in the time, 7 to 9 gets a +10 result.
He's like, all right, well, I certainly didn't want to be on the side of the angels as it was. And he steps back out of the way of you and kind of clears the path. And he says, that case that she has, that's what I want after everything is said and done. And you have cleared that path. Hugo, what do you want to do?
Is he fighting with us now?
Oh God, no. He's just not going to get in your way.
Okay, that's too much to hope for.
You can persuade him. Like we took him from hostile, like in the morale chart, hostile to neutral. Now you could change it to friendly.
Right, we could do GURPS reaction table.
That's exactly it.
Nice. Okay, well, I think the best person to do that would be Nikaru. So maybe I just sort of like, incline my head to like, maybe you keep going with that.
So we've got a gym full of Yakuza and an angel, or something like it. What do you want to do?
Oh, there's still Yakuza in here?
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh shit. Okay, I guess I'll kill them.
Okay. So you're gonna do you want to light up just the Yakuza mob and work on the minions, or do you want to? There is the guy that you dealt with before is here, Ayujin.
Oh, the guy that was really mean to me, right, with the sword?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a sword too. What up? I totally forgot about it the first session, but I have one. I have that's my weapon. So yeah, I think I'll go for him.
Okay. You rush at Ayujin. He'll draw his blade as you come at him. Let's have you unleash an attack.
Sounds good. And this one I'm rolling with blood because it's not magic, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Blood -1. That'll be good. Okay. Okay, that's a 7.
That is a 7. So on a hit, inflicted harm is established and choose one. Inflict terrible harm or take something from them.
I'll inflict terrible harm and hope he does.
So that you will cut into him, and it does hit into his body armor, and he is injured by that.
Okay.
And what do you want from the choose one below as well? The bad spot is that there's a whole bunch of other Yakuza here.
Okay.
If you want to choose that, or you can take harm.
I'll find myself in a bad spot, I think.
Okay. So the Yakuza that are there, they knock you to the ground and sort of pin you so Ayujin can just stab you in the face.
Oh, shit.
Okay. They tackle you, take you to the ground. They know how this is how you take out wizards. You got to keep them from moving and talking. Somebody will put a blade in your mouth in a second, and it'll all be good.
Okay, maybe I'll dismiss all harm then.
Well, we'll come back when that happens.
Okay, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I haven't done that. No, I'm just putting you in a bad spot so you know what's going to happen next, unless it gets dealt with. Okay. Sato. Dragon steps out of the way.
I'll kind of nod at Zahn, since I guess we know each other. And as soon as I step past him into the auditorium, I see Hugo, and I'll do that cool anime, like lean forward and start flying at them. And as soon as I get next to Hugo, I stop and say, "Cowards, fight me like our ancestors fight." And I draw my blade and just wait for someone to charge me.
Okay.
That I'm going after him anyway.
You can unleash an attack.
All right.
We'll see the Kill Bill sequence as they rush in on you there. Swords drawn out.
4.
So as you do that kind of cowards, Ayujin leaps forward at you, and his blade is glowing. He's badly wounded, but his blade is glowing, and he was after you that first time, so he came prepared. And so he will do 3 harm to you.
And would that be down to 2, or does he?
Yeah, be down to 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and just cuts into you. You feel it hit bone as he does that and sends you flying backwards. You've got his attention off of Hugo, but the yaks are still on him. But he has hurt you badly.
I'll roar out in pain.
Yeah, and he smiles like this is what he's been waiting for, the satisfaction of this hungry blade into you. Camilla. What do you want to do once you've returned from IHOP?
I didn't hear you say my name.
Oh, that's okay.
There was a stutter. So yeah, like I rush inside, as we all do, come upon this insanity. I see Hugo about to get like stabbed in the face. So I'm like rushing over to the Yakuza. I'm like, yo, working with her is going to be the downfall of your clan. So if you strike him down, just forget about it. You guys are finished. As I'm pronouncing a curse on them.
Oh, interesting.
Also, it sounds like I'm I don't know. I guess it's not a vision. So never mind. I was like, damn it, I want to mark this faction at any cost. Oh well. I didn't have a vision of Hugo dying. Sorry, Hugo.
So the curse is
Dark Fate. Mark corruption face to face someone to put a curse on them. So that's my 5th corruption.
All right. Have you roll with spirit?
Yeah, baby. And then I know what my corruption move I'm taking is. Telekinesis, Kyle. 8, 9, 10.
9, 10. So choose 2.
Right. I gotta scroll back down. The curse lasts a long time. And yeah, what the hell? The effects of the no, I'm not the obvious source of the curse.
Okay. So well, do you think that's fair given that you kind
that's fair? Yeah, potent and obvious then.
Yeah. So what does it look like? What do we see?
What do we see?
Yeah.
I feel like they like I give them like a glimpse of the future that will befall them should they continue upon this path.
Okay.
And like I'm like each like basically it devolves into like the clan fighting amongst itself, killing each other.
So it definitely will make them hesitate, kind of step back here. These Yakuza will back and clear away from Hugo. Suddenly, that vision opening up in their minds. And I'm going to cut away from this scene. Salome, bleeding, bloodied. You're in front of the vault.
I like it just as a small visual thing, as a like blood is kind of like falling down my body. I think it's freezing. Just I really want to amp up that visual.
Okay.
And in front of the vault, though, well, I want to bust in.
How would you bust with your Fey magic into a vault?
I do have the Excel. Hold on, a little better. I do have the wither fairy magic, and I presume I think that implies like animate things, but I can wither a door, I'm sure.
Okay. So I think you are going to have to let it out to do this.
That makes sense. Let it out is here. Where's my okay. 5. I didn't beat the door boss.
So you will go to do that, and like you're working and concentrating on it, but he has reinforced this with magic, and it will crackle across you, and you'll realize that this is you can't get in via this means. This wither is not going to work. Does that seem like fair?
Yes.
Hugo. Ang, 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 ang. Alarm goes off in your head. Someone is trying to break into your vault.
Yeah, but around me are all the Yakuza.
Yeah. We'll come back to you in just a sec. I just wanted to tell you and telegraph the badness there, as it were. We'll come back to that. Salome, we see you kind of, that took a lot of energy out of you, that little ice, the crackle of blood and frozen sweat kind of dripping off of you there. You will see on the table by this thing, you will see some papers, and you kind of look and you realize there are a couple of pages of translation of the book.
Mm.
He's clearly gotten someone to start translating it. We'll come back to you, Nikoru.
Yeah. I don't think this... Well, my gun's broken. Well, that was just a submachine gun. I still have my pistols.
Mm-hmm.
You got that weapon I gave you too.
That's true.
Yeah. What did he give you?
I don't know. I just agreed.
You tell me. Tell me what
The demon thing. What is the demon thing? What is the demon thing? I'm lost.
Is it a knife? Is it a gun that's been blessed? What is it?
It's a knife. It's a knife. It's like a knife of two twined serpents. So it's mostly a stabby knife. It's not got really an edge per se. And yeah, I think, how does a vampire even let it out? Like, it's not like he can break into song.
You got fangs.
Is that letting it out?
Yeah, let it out is supposed to represent all of those supernatural powers that they don't detail. So if you want to vamp out with your vampiric strength or any of those things, that's how let it out is used to do that.
I see. Sorry for being unclear.
No.
Let's go with. I think he's going to because he wants to unleash what monster she's. This is basically like a supernatural breakup for him. Okay, so he's just trying to embody all of the you threw all of this away. So yes, he wants to super vamp out and approach, and it's just trying to seem darker and suck in the light and the things dripping with the blood from the dude from outside.
Roll with spirit.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. This was a terrible tactical idea because of a -1. But I rolled an 11, so that's a
Whoa, no! You get to
so close.
Ignore corruption
or
take 2 from the list. +1 forward, maybe, for setup.
I want to frighten, intimidate, or impress her. That's really what he wants right now.
Absolutely.
He will definitely mark corruption and take +1 forward on the next roll. Yeah, I'll do that.
She steps back, and you will see a tear roll down her cheek. And she looks at you and she says, "This is what I was trying to stop. What I was trying to prevent."
You failed me.
she's like she's clearly emotional too. And maybe has opened herself up. A little
Awesome.
bit
He's
there.
gonna wrap his arms around her and try to attack her. with his
Okay, we'll
fangs.
come back to you in a second. Sato. Oh my God! Look at this guy. He's gonna cut you down, gonna cleave you in twain.
Can I intervene on Sato's behalf?
So you want to lend a hand, or what do you want to do?
I want to use my telekinesis as he's swinging down and just like toss the hunter dude like across the room as he's like swinging down.
Interesting. Well, can we use it as a fiction for a lend a hand? Does
Sure.
that seem like a fair way to do that?
Sure.
Yeah,
I still get the mark corruption though, right?
sure. You can mark her. You love the
I
corruption.
do. It's so great.
Okay. Why don't you roll with your? Are you knight or wild? Sato.
Me? Oh,
Sato.
Sato's
Uh,
wild.
Yeah, I'm wild.
Okay. So if you haven't already marked wild, you can mark wild
All right.
or roll with wild rather.
I really got to start describing visions so I can use this at any cost move.
Yes.
So far, I only had one. Yeah, I don't know how that works. If I can just make up actual visions versus my fake visions.
I don't know, but let's have you
9 + 1 is a 10.
10. So as he goes to come in at you, Sato, he gets that jerk of that telekinesis. Sato, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna go for the opening. Sato is not that honorable.
Unleash an attack.
So I gave him Sato a +1 then, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Ooh, 12.
Oh, look at that. So
Thank you.
he's coming in. He's wounded. Got that cut from Hugo's blade in his side. And he's coming in and he's going to bring that down and it gets knocked to the side. And where do you stab him? Where does the blade go in?
I think it goes straight through his heart, and I'm like almost holding him up.
You know, like hear the clatter of his blade as he kind of grabs onto that and see the light go out of his eyes, even as you feel his soul get sucked into your blade.
Yes. And I'll take the body and just kind of fling it towards the other Yakuza.
Demonic strength flings it over onto them. They're already cursed. Hugo, what do you want to do?
So maybe I will make an opening for Nikoru by shooting the lightning at the shield to try to diminish it.
That's
Is that
interesting.
possible?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
what
could-
about
Go
what
on.
about teleporting Nikoru through the barrier close to her, circumventing the barrier then?
Ooh, I like that. Do
That's awesome.
you want to lend a hand then?
Sure, yeah. And
Let's do that.
So am I spending a thing too?
No, I don't think you have to. I think the spell is the fiction for you doing that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that'll be roll plus faction. Is that power?
He is knight.
Oh, he's knight. Ooh. Okay, we'll see what happens. Okay, that's not too bad. 7.
7. Nikoru, you come closer. She's weeping. You can still feel that barrier in front of you, you know, that kind of keeping you back. And then you're right in front of her. You don't know how it happened, but you feel it. You kind of start to feel that burning and you're teleported past that barrier that she has. What do you do?
He's gonna just wrap his arms around her. And he's like, I will bring you back to me.
And are you unleashing an attack or what are we doing?
He wants to bring her across. He wants to embrace her. He wants to make her do what he is again.
Interesting. What do you think happens when you try to embrace this divine figure?
I don't think it'll work, but I don't think he's ever tried this before. So
Let's have you roll with heart.
okay, I am down with rolling with heart because I'm quite hearty. Okay. Crap. I rolled another 4. Son of a biscuit eater.
So I think you do. You bite into her neck, and you will feel that divine energy in her, and you feel that just shatter.
What was the total there? Because I can still spend my +1 as well.
Oh, yeah, what'd you get?
Yes, it was exactly a 6.
Then I'll spend the +1 as well.
Ha! Sorry.
So it's the same thing, but you don't catch on fire, Nikoru.
Oh, yay! Thank you, Hugo.
You bite into her neck and you kill that angel. The second your dark, horrible fangs go in, it shatters. And you'll drink a little, and you catch. I mean, you burn a little, but it's more sort of the mental anguish that you feel. You feel her grief that she did want to save you, that you were her favorite, that she put you off to last, and her body crumples to the ground. Sato, you'll look over. You see Kagami collapse dead to the ground. Camilla, Hugo, you see that the Yakuza, they are running off. Like they've still got that curse in their mind, and they are running away. And you'll hear excuse me.
Hi.
The case that she has by her, I would like that if you would please.
I don't know. You go for it.
And he'll start walking over towards it.
Sato wants to fly at Kagami.
Okay.
And if the case is nearby, I want to grab the case, and then I think what I want to do is use Invoke to teleport out with the case.
Interesting. Okay. Let's have
Because
you
I
roll.
know it's not his.
Let's have you roll. Keep your cool.
All right.
Oh, I want to interfere.
Okay. You can get in the way.
Yeah.
I got a 7.
Okay. So,
yeah, I'm gonna get in the way with telekinesis.
all right. Let's have you
Gotta
roll.
Yank that and push it towards the dude. So
Roll wild.
Red.
Yep.
All right. Still a +1. There's a 10.
So you go to do that. You fly at that, and then shoop, and the case goes flying over to the dragon. And he will say, look at you, Camilla, and go, thank you, young lady. I owe you.
All right. Excellent. Who's this guy?
Sato, do you do anything that Kagami's dead there?
Yeah, if her body's left, I'm going to like kind of give Nikoru space, meet his eyes, look down at her, and say, "May I give her last rites by our traditions?"
He slips into Japanese at this point. She earned at least that much.
Yes. Despite everything she's done to us.
Nice. Hugo, kind of, does Yakuza run away from you? Kind of getting up to your feet. You see that scene. You see Sato and Nikoru by Kagami's body. You see a little bit frazzled looking, syrup stained Camilla over there, and you'll see this guy picking up this case and getting ready to leave.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna fuck with a dragon.
What are you gonna do though?
I know that somebody's in my house.
Yeah.
But I also want some of that angelic blood. But also, it seems like maybe now isn't the time for that. So maybe I'll just like dig up her body later or something like that.
But the blood won't be fresh then.
Yeah, it'll be not fresh blood, I guess. But I think I'll teleport back to my house.
So polite, stealing the blood there.
Also, if they're Japanese, they might cremate the body.
Well, you know, I can always break into the crematorium.
Well, you can't teleport back to your house because teleport is a short distance thing.
Can I let it out to do it?
Interesting. Yeah,
Get that 12 plus.
I like that.
It's because I have it advanced for everyone around me.
Nice. Okay, let's see. Let it out. Oh yeah, empower because it's a spell. 7, 9.
9. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time here. Like you're going to have to do some hops.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give Salome an opportunity here. Salome, you're like, ugh, and you know you set off an alarm. What do you want to do?
I'm tempted to just wait for Hugo and have a friendly chat.
Do you? You got some debts on Hugo, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I think I do want to do that. I need leverage. I can't do anything without any sort of leverage or a lead or something.
So do you go and sit casually and wait?
Yeah, maybe there's like maybe there's like a little desk or a table or something near the entrance or in the hallway. So like among the runage, I'm just gonna pull up a chair and or wait.
And there'll be that whoosh, and Hugo, you appear, and you'll see Salome casually sitting there in your house.
Did you need something, Salome?
Hugo, where's the book?
I've had a day.
You had a day.
Yes, I'm like, and I'm actually pretty fucked up. I've got like maxed out grievous wounds, so I have.
Yeah.
I'm like all messed up and bleeding and disheveled and stuff. My
That's
suit, my
good to
Armani
hear.
suit, is probably messed up. Why do you want the book? Do you even know what it is? It seems like it's very confusing as to what the contents of this book is.
Yes, I know what the book is.
I mean,
Hugo,
who really needs a bestiary?
where's the book?
I think a good adjudication of this is maybe you calling it a dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll try to not do it, but we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, so roll with heart, which I'm pretty sure I'm bad at. Yep. I ain't got no heart. Yeah, I got a 4.
So you've got to tell him.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I just sort of like deflate in front of you and I'm like, this will make us square, or
No. After everything I've done for you, after everything you fucked up for me, telling me where a book is will not make us square.
well, I think I opened the vault and it's in there, right? I've got a whole bunch of relics and stuff in there, but the book is in there as well.
Salome, he opens the vault, and you'll see the book, and you'll probably also see the sword.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll come back to you two in just a moment. Nikoru. Sato's reading out the some of the prayer. the Shinto doing the ceremony, or Buddhist. I don't know how you would imagine that, but her spirit's gone. Her body is here. What do you think, Nakara? What do you do?
I think Nikoro just slowly kind of does that squat down over his haunches to touch what the shell that she once had was, and pays his respects quietly.
Her skin is cold like you remember when you touch her now.
Puts a pained smile on his face.
Sato, Camilla, by the way, there are sirens approaching.
Is the other gentleman still there?
Oh, he's taking his case and he is leaving.
Yeah, I'm gonna like back away from the car. I don't want to get involved with that. I'm like, hey, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, I'm Zahn. Do you need a ride?
No, I've got a ride. I just want to put a face to a name.
Sure, absolutely.
This guy owes me now, so
Yeah, roll with wild.
all right, that's a +1. Ugh. 3.
Yeah, you don't know who this guy is.
Okay. Do I owe them or
No, they just don't know him.
damn?
He's like, I will see you later.
It's on. Okay. All right. Okay.
And he heads out to take his ill-gotten dragon egg with him. Sato, seeing Koru deflate. What do you do, hearing the sirens?
I'm back in human form now, and I'll put a hand on Nikoru's shoulder and say, it is time for us to leave. Would you like to bring the body with us or leave it here?
Let's bring it with us. I'm afraid someone like Hugo might get ideas.
So I'll pick it up and carry it out, and perhaps not going back to our car is the best bet, but taking a different exit and just finding a way back to the sanctum.
Okay. So we'll assume you three will get out of there. You know, the sound of Baltimore's finest coming, gunfire, and you will head out. Do you leave the car behind then, or?
I don't know that we established whose car it was, but I'm fine with leaving it behind.
I think it was
I assume it was Nikoru's car.
Well,
come for the car. You don't want to lose that. Plus, can they track it back to you?
Yeah.
It's probably smarter to take the car with.
Yeah, let's take the car. Come on,
Okay.
throw it in the.
One of the doors is really badly mangled. You kind of
look and say, what
shut it.
happened? What happened here?
oh, I was rushing to your aid, of course.
The
Sorry,
door
the-
was an impediment. It
He's
doesn't matter.
very impatient.
You dump the body in the trunk, you roll into this car, and you take off into the early morning. Let's cut back. Salome, he's offered you the book.
Oh, I'm gonna take it. Finally. Hugo, I don't know if you're actually paying attention to what's going on around us, but there are some delicate matters that we still need to take care of. And I think if you want to be square finally, then promise me something.
What do you need?
Unjungri is missing an egg, and
Right.
some other dragon has it. So just help me get it back.
Okay. So does this need to be like today? Because I need to rest up. I'm a little injured.
He just wants your promise so that he can hold it over you.
She, right?
She.
Sooner
Oh.
rather than later.
Sure. Once I am rested, we'll go on another quest.
Okay. Did you find out anything about the book?
Just had to ask me straight up like that. Yes. I found out that it is a book that is about fighting the Winter Court.
I'm gonna lean in real close.
Yeah.
And as I say this, I want to use my like everybody's got one to give you just a nice little weakness. Just an easy way. Yeah, just an easy way to harm you.
What? Okay.
Um,
See, this is why I should always lie.
so I think I'm gonna make you weak to ice because I'm just leaning on that. But I'll say you should forget that. So maybe I don't know if there's some visual that makes it obvious.
I have weary bones.
Yeah, you feel that frost and that chill that will run through you as you know that she has laid this upon you.
Great. Can't wait to be working together soon.
We've always had a tenuous relationship, Hugo.
Antagonistic, apparently. Yeah.
Well,
And I think that's the place to cut. I think that's that's our end scene for that. I would like to go ahead and do epilogues. Let's start with the Salome Hugo epilogues. Salome, in our epilogue with you, what do we see?
man. I mean, I think we see like a pretty sharp. Well, I think we see this continued downward slope into this like ruthlessness that Salome has started, but I would like to think with Hugo's coerced help that we were able to recover the egg, and then my short-term goal really was leveraging Unjungri to like take over I want to do a coup of the summer court.
So you cross one dragon to aid another dragon to get their aid. Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably like very indebted to Unjungri. I've indebted this like new court to a dragon. It's probably not ideal.
And yeah, so maybe it's the dragon pulling the strings. Hugo, what about you? What's our epilogue with you?
I think it has to be digging up the grave to get the blood. It's like the last thing that I need to get my spell, probably. And it just reinforces how kind of morally gray I am.
If you can't dig up the grave because they've done it, do we see you back at that original site, like harvesting the blood from there?
Yeah, like maybe there's however I get it.
Yeah, you could even go to the gym and get it from the floor and stuff.
Right.
There are ways. But yeah. And once you have it together, will you go back? Or is there just like one more thing? There's always like one more thing you have to do.
It probably closes with him in front of the mirror trying to decide if he'll do it or not, and then it just being like left open because who knows with Hugo.
Perfect. Camilla, what about you? What do we see in the aftermath, in the epilogue?
I don't know. Like, I'm gonna get rid of the dead on that ghost. So probably just dealing with that. I'm like, oh, fine. You know, I said so. Just letting that ghost take control and go on a binge of whatever.
Yeah, he'll go to like a buffet.
It's like,
You know,
there's
like-
more pleasures than eating. Like,
that seems to be the thing that just has driven him. The ghosts are just usually driven by a singular focus, and this is his.
glutton.
Yeah. And as you are finishing eating, you will see Zahn will show up and will say, "How can I help you? How can I pay you back?"
Do you know how to exercise 13 ghosts?
No.
$260,000 lying around.
And he'll pull out a checkbook.
Oh, yes.
Sato, what's our epilogue for you?
I think we see this the scene between Sato and the patron where he is, you know, telling her it is done, like now's the time, bring back my sister. I did this for you. Kagami was our end game kind of thing. But I don't think that she
Technically,
does it.
you didn't kill Kagami.
But she wouldn't have died if I wasn't there. And I did everything you asked. I did the rites the way our ancestors would have wanted. We laid her spirit to rest.
There are just a few small things you have to finish up, but then your sister.
A few small things. I think that's what you said the last 12 times. How long have we been at this? There's got to be an end.
13th time's the charm.
I see. I think he just teleports out and appears beside Nikoru and says, Nikoru, how would you feel about making me a vampire?
Nice. And where do you teleport to where Nikuru is? He's like got a suitcase and he's just finished like throwing some clothes in it. He's about to zip it up. It's like he's about to blow out of town. And you pop in. Sure.
I don't think the ancestors have done right by me, so I'll make them give me what I want. You're welcome to come along, but I understand you have places to be too.
You helped me. I will help you.
Thank you.
Rich, do we see anything else in Nikoru's epilogue?
Just the last bits of a text message that he sends to a couple members of the Summer Court about Salome and all the dirt that he has.
Nice. Nice. I picture you hitting send even as you're driving out of town.
Yeah. Just to leave a little turd in Salome's yard.
Awesome. And that's it. There we go. Thank you guys very much for playing Urban Shadows with me, which I've always wanted to run. Thank you, Joshua, for coming in at the last session. I appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
So let's take a couple minutes. I'd like to ask things that you liked on this first round. So you want to point to about good stuff in the game, system, or other players. And then I'd like to ask in this second round, things you would have liked to have seen more of. So I know when I do Urban Shadows again, what that would be like, if that's okay, just to get a sense of that. So first round, Rich, I'm going to go reverse order. Things that you liked, you want to point to.
So Urban Shadows, as I have played it, in the past has been a very sprawling kind of game, and it almost ends up like if you have 4 players, it's like 4 separate games that occasionally have crossover, which is great for play by post. But for like a live game, there's a whole lot of sitting and waiting and trying to stay engaged, but like you're not really directly involved. And like, seriously, where did this grocery cart lady come from? And like, she's not going to last long. And so it's weird because it just keeps spinning out. And I liked that you kept things, like you kept bringing things in by eliminating some of the starting moves. I know, well, super specific because maybe it happened. Anyway, so like you by axing those moves, it was easier for you over the course of multiple sessions to kind of keep tying things back in. And I found that to be helpful for us to tell a cohesive story in a short term. Because I think Urban Shadows is maybe built for campaigns, and this helped it to work within a mini series.
And to piggyback on that, I think everybody here did a good job of playing into that. Like you guys were willing to go with that and roll and bend back into it. So I think that was as much players as anything. Joshua, things you want to point to?
That was going to be what I said. I thought it was really awesome how everything kind of webbed together very well. And brought all the characters together more often than maybe it would have otherwise. I really enjoyed a lot of our character scenes and the drama between the characters, and kudos to everyone for not always doing the nice thing, because obviously that is fun to watch. So yeah.
Awesome. Joe, anything you want to point to? System players play that you dug? That's you, Joe. Sorry.
Okay.
I probably stuttered on your name. I should have said, got to get used to saying your name twice there.
Yeah, well, it's the internet connection. So.
Yeah.
I really love the corruption mechanic. That's obviously, as I'm like, yeah, like this game wants me to do this. I'm gonna do it, and this playbook is all about it. So, yeah, like I've only played a one shot of it once before, and even then, like you could tell that it's geared towards campaign play. So it was nice to see it, like the overarching story. So, like, I haven't dealt with the four player solo game basically. So I thought this went pretty well with all our terrible people sometimes having to work together.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I like the XP faction, like the XP move is kind of neat, but frustrating because I love getting that XP on a fail.
Yeah,
but like it really drives you to play towards a certain way.
Yeah, I think it was stronger than I've seen it before, but because we really had some faction moves, but it is kind of a pain at times.
I can see how it could just devolve, like where we joked, where it can just devolve sitting around a bar. Is like, do I know this person? Yeah. So,
Frazier, things you want to point to that you dug?
Yeah, I thought it was like I don't have much experience with urban fiction or urban fantasy fiction anyway. And I thought it was really cool for me because I decided to go for the wizard because I've only read Harry Dresden, and it was very Harry Dresden for me, where I'm like getting fucked up all the time. I owe everybody. There's no good options. I was like, yes, this is familiar. So yeah, I like that a lot. And I thought, just like everybody else said, you did a great job of making it a game that drew us all together. It has the same challenges as the Veil in that way, I think.
Yeah,
the Veil's also geared towards long play and having these compartmentalized fictions and stuff like that. So I think you're quite masterful at pulling everything together. So I appreciated that.
Darren?
Yeah, I thought this was like a really good group of people to play with. All the character interactions were great. All the characterizations were really great. I think, yeah, I was thinking I was disappointed not seeing the like rumor mechanic, the start of session thing, but I think it would have been out of place because it would have just drawn like 5,000 more threads that we wouldn't have gone anywhere with.
Yeah,
and I thought we were doing well enough making up our own stuff like in game that we didn't need that. And yeah, I think what I was most worried about was not seeing the like community interactions and how the like factions as like groups of people with opposing or not opposing agendas, but like they're gonna look out for themselves first, sort of thing. I was most worried about not seeing that sort of like meta conflict, but I thought you brought that in super well. And the way, like those little things, like, oh, the ghost wanted the egg, and like, oh, the Yakuza set this fire, but wait a minute, they actually stole the dragon egg. And like, and just like those little things that tied it all together were super effective, I thought.
Well, I'm going to go back reverse order here. So you think maybe I mean, one of the things that taking out the rumor roll, the start a session move does, is it actually removes a point of XP from every player. So I think maybe that's what I need. If maybe that's something you'd want to see is having some way to like have everybody mark one, but only like one or two people roll. Does that sound like maybe a way to handle that?
I think we should have an opening scene where we're sitting at a bar and just doing face to a name for everybody gets to be one per whatever faction they want, and then it will be okay. I can't believe I'd ever figured out that cheat, but dang, man, it's tempting.
So, Darren, anything else you would have wanted to see more of?
I would have. I think I just forget about debt mechanics because I wish I would have done that more, and that's also like kind of the phase whole thing. So I think I would have liked to see more debt transactions, but
that's a good point.
I'm just mad at that mechanic.
Well, and the GM needs to be on there, maybe going, okay, are we using this on that? That's a good point.
And I think I something that Frage and I had talked about just on the side before was how like it's kind of unclear what the debts, like how you gain them or how you or when you should spend them, or like what does it mean exactly, like when does a favor become a debt. So I think like being clear about that in session, like maybe part of like the lead in to be like, hey, what do we think about when we talk about debts and favors? I think that would help too.
That's a really good point. Thank you. That's actually that's super actionable. So I appreciate that. Fraser, anything you would have liked to have seen more of?
Yeah, just the clarification on the debts. Like, I think if you had a scale that codified exactly like how it stacks, so that way it's not kind of nebulous where it's like you're doing a whole bunch of favors, but you're only like whittling down the debt. Because I remember it needs to be like approximate to what you have done for them before and all that kind of stuff. So if you could do a big favor that wiped out a ton of debt and all that kind of stuff was just kind of nebulous and was the only thing that I was confused about. But
that's smart. And as a GM, I should be keeping a better eye on that to help reinforce that. That's a good point. Anything else?
I don't think so. I thought it was great.
Joe, anything you would like to see more of?
No, I heard you this time. I'm sad like it never came up in the fiction, but we never got to interact with the intimacy moves.
Yeah, that's
I was like, I've got a plan. Oh no, he's being shot now. Never mind.
Yeah. Actually,
That's
we didn't hit any of that tech. That's really good to know. I have to keep an eye on that. Joshua, anything?
I think just on the debts, I was really confused between who I owed debts to and who owed debts to me. I really wish there was a different word or something for that. And like I was marking down both debts I owed and debts owed to me in my debts section with like pluses and minuses, and it got really confusing to me. I couldn't, like, just looking at it, even with the minuses and pluses, it takes me time, like in my brain, to think about, oh, is the minus because I owe him, or is the minus because or they owe me? So I don't know of a good way around that, but maybe having like a debts for one thing, and then I don't know, like favors for
obligations.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, that's a really good point. And it is interesting that that seems to be a common theme, is the debt mechanics and getting those figured. Okay. Rich, I'm going to give you the last word.
Oh, geez, it's no pressure. So there actually is a tab within the Keeper for doing line by line debts, but just as a guy who ran a vampire campaign where there were like major boons and minor boons and trying to track all of that, it's a fucking waste of effort. Like, don't do it. You think you want that level of granularity, but like, you don't need it. Like, you feel like you need it, but like, seriously, it's like work. And anytime my game becomes work, I stop having fun. But other people love work, and they love making work in their games, and that's totally cool. They can play SimCity all they want. So there's that. Yeah, I think just to third, there were no like beats that we never got to take a breath. We never really got to deepen a relationship. No one got laid, and that makes me sad. There was no hugging.
And sleep with you.
Right. I totally wanted.
Then you went and got shot.
To like sleep with Camilla or Salome or Sato. Probably not Hugo. But no offense, Fraser, but like, I think he has some things that he needs to take care of. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'd do it for the visions.
Okay. That's true. It's a good idea. And we never got to see anything about Hugo's family and like reliving those memories. And that was super juicy. And I would have loved to explore that. But we were slam bang action. It was almost like 4 sessions of one. It was like a Netflix series where we only had like 3 episodes, and we had to get like all like keep going, push, which is fun for a lot of action oriented games. I came into Urban Shadows not expecting like the kind of action that we were throwing out. And I know, yes, I framed scenes left and right that were just like that. So I am partially guilty, but and it's not guilty. It's just one of those things of like, this was a very different kind of Urban Shadows game. I've never seen anything like it. I'm not saying I'm like an expert in Urban Shadows.
Right.
I'm not even saying it's bad, because I had a lot of fun. And I don't go into an Urban Shadows game expecting to have fun. I don't.
No, I think that's fair.
Like, this is delightful. This is like it literally felt like a Netflix series. It felt like a Netflix Marvel series to me, which is a good thing. Is I would have liked to, like, maybe we needed one more episode, which is that terrible one that everyone complains about, where we actually learn why they care about anything and isn't punching people in faces, like that little bit.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, to get more time to breathe on that. No, I appreciate hearing that. So yeah, thank you guys very much. I'm glad you all dug my NPC pictures. That was one of my favorite bits there, and I loved all of your pictures. So I had a great time. So I am going to stop the broadcast.